Arne, the 3 points are the most important thing, I imagine, but was there an element of fortune today?
Yeah, of course. If you score in the last minute, there's always an element of luck. But so many times this season, we've experienced the opposite. I don't mean conceding in the last minute, which happened as well. But so many times this season, we've deserved more than we got. Now, today, I think a draw would have been a fairer result than a win for us.
The first half looked particularly difficult for you. Why was that? Was it just a Florian injury, or was it more to it than that?
No, I hope and assume, and there's more into it than that, because if we rely on one player, then things are not good, and that's also not the situation, because we've missed players throughout the whole season. So another miss for us that Florian couldn't play because he's in a really good form. But someone else have to do the job. I think the first half was mainly difficult because Forest plays so well, and they have good players. So I said before the game, surprised about their league position, and after the game, I'm even more surprised.
You changed Jones and Sloboslay's positioning in the game. What were you looking to change in that first period?
Now to get a little bit more control over their midfield, because I think, I just highlighted how well they played, but we lost every ball. We could not keep the ball for 1 second. If we went long, we lost the duel. We lost a lot of second balls. So the only part of our game that went well was defending inside the box. So I think I saw players throwing themselves in front of balls. We had to defend a lot of set pieces. And that's what we did well. And then you stay in the game. That's what we did. And in the second half, I saw a completely different game. In the second half, I think we took over the game, maybe because they played on first day. That for the first time this season was an advantage for us. That the team who we faced played and we were off this week. So you could see that maybe in the second half when we started to play much better, created our chances, couldn't score. Still the extra time when we scored twice, and I thought with all that's been happening this season, I would not even be surprised if both goals are disallowed. But maybe fortune has changed finally.
Tell us about Rio Ungamoa's impact as well from the bench.
No, he had the first goal that was disallowed was mainly because of him, because he took a 1v1 on. And a great cross on the head of Hugo Ekitike, which is normally you would expect that to be a goal, especially for Hugo because he's such a good finisher. But ball came back from the goalkeeper, and then, as we know, the goal got disallowed. So a good action of him, good 1v1, which is what this game needed. It was either for us a set piece or a moment like this, and that's also why I brought him on. And first off the left, where he was not a lot of involvement. And then off the right, where he had that good action.
Do you feel he's ready to play a bigger part?
Get well done. It'll feel like one of the biggest wins of the season, that I'm sure.
Yeah, listen, it feels definitely nice to win here. Very difficult ground in my opinion to come. Very poor first half from all of us, with and without the ball. I think you saw the desire to not concede. That was obviously maybe the only positive thing, but I think the second half we turned it around. I think we were much more comfortable on the ball, without the ball as well. Obviously, you still know that Forest can be dangerous in set pieces, and the quality they have, the confidence they had from midweek. And I think we did well, especially second half. And now it's and obviously then towards the end, it's just a great feeling to win and be on the good side for once in a long time.
What was that change then that you make at the break? Is that just a collective thing that you just need to be a little bit braver on the ball? I think it was 80% possession second half for most of it.
It's a combination of that, I think. Obviously, it all starts with winning your battles, winning the challenges, and obviously when you have the ball, make the right decisions. And it's not always easy to do that, especially in the first half, where obviously a lot of players are still fresh and they run and they press and they go 1v1s. And if you are late in challenges, or if you're late in possession, if you lose the ball too easy, then obviously they create momentum. But like I said already, I think the second half we did it much better. We found the triangles, we rotated well in the middle. We got our wingers a lot of times in the 1v1s. I don't think we created real clear-cut chances, but obviously Hugo's was massive. He should have scored, but in the end, we got the winner, and that's the most important thing.
Bodies on the line, it won't get headlines, will it? But, you know, Robbo makes a big block before we go up the other end. You take one in the back of the head as well. You know, it looked like a heavy one, that.
Yeah, listen, but it is. You know, Forest always will make it tough for you, and can't forget what they did to us at Anfield. So we had to show a reaction, and I'm glad we won here. I'm glad we won at a difficult ground with great fans and a good atmosphere, and especially when there is a goal disallowed and the fans get behind it, create momentum. And the way we reacted to that, I think was a big credit to the guys.
It's elite, that though, elite mentality, isn't it? When you have that disappointment of a goal being chalked off late on, to go again and get that one right at the death.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, the game is not over until it's over, and we have the quality to decide games. And we needed obviously first a couple of long throw-ins from Joey, but in the end, obviously the ball from Dom was quality. I think I was just on side, and Maka just had to finish it off, so happy days.
Just finally then, it's about winning games now, isn't it? Performances can't always be brilliant, but you go to Sunderland, their record was absolutely brilliant prior to that. This, like you say, a really difficult place to come. You get 6 points from both games.
Yeah, no, outstanding, and I think obviously we wanna play our best football, and I think at times in the games we are definitely doing that, but obviously we still are looking for improvement, and we're not perfect. You know, we're human beings, and we want to do the best for the club. We want to be performing on the absolute highest level, and we need each other in their best and possible way. And it's a process, but we keep going, focus on the next one, and it will be a difficult one again on the weekend. So on to the next.
Well done, Skip.
Alexis, can you sum up your feelings at the end of that? An incredible finish.
Yeah, mixed feelings, to be honest. I love scoring, I love winning. So in that sense, yes, I think it's a really good day. But then, on the other hand, I don't think we play very well. So there is plenty of things that we need to improve. But it's always nicer when you win.
Let's start with the first one that went in but was disallowed. Did that hit your elbow?
It did, but I feel like it's a bit harsh because it does hit my back as well. So it's a bit of both. But I understand the rules. I just think that in football that's very harsh. But I think it was a fair decision.
Did it feel like the moment had gone then?
Sorry?
Did it feel as if the moment had gone, that was your chance? Did you think you'd get another?
No, I thought I was going to get another one. Even before a throw-in, I told Hugo that this was going to be our goal, our situation. And after that, I don't know if it was on that one or the next one, but I had another opportunity, and yeah, glad that I went in.
Yeah, incredible finish. Darren, let's first of all have a look at the one that was chalked up. Whether it hit his back or his elbow is a bit of a discussion point. He seems to accept it. But first of all, it was a great chance actually for Ekitike, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah, and Rio Gamola done really well. I mean, he changed the game, as Jamie said, when he came on, and he just leaves it in a really nice area. But from there, Ekitike, I know it's slightly behind him, he has to score because the pace on the ball, it's there. It then pops to McAllister, and I think it's harsh because, yes, it does strike his arm, but he's not looking at the ball. His arms are next to his body. I mean, by the letter of the law, it should be disallowed, but I still feel it's harsh.
Yeah, they did have a good long look at it, and if they can see that it has hit the arm, then they will disallow it, whether, of course, he's accident or not. So that was a big moment, and he thought maybe the chance was gone. Everyone thought maybe the chance had gone, apart from McAllister, who was convinced something else would happen, Jamie.
So he says, yeah, but I mean, I thought the throw-in was going to go in the box. Nottingham Forest had dealt with that really well. So Szoboszlai does brilliant here, just to get half a yard, and that's a wonderful ball into the box. And think with Van Dijk, actually, I think Van Dijk's header is actually almost not trying to score. Keep it alive, put it in a danger area. Now, I wasn't sure, you know, whether it was Ekitike's foot or Lorena there just behind Virgil van Dijk. As I said, you're not quite sure, but the lines don't get it wrong, whether they could actually see Lorena's foot there at the back post. But it was a really tight one. But I think Van Dijk does really well because it doesn't look like a header, but he's trying to score.
There's the Lorena boot, which is apparently playing Virgil van Dijk onside there. But Forest get themselves in a real tangle there, don't they, Darren, as well? Do
you know what they do? And I mean, it's a good save, but I think if Morello's not there, I do think Ortega just falls on it, gets in his arms, and then they all go up the pitch. But the fact that there's a bit of chaos because Morello's there, Ortega's there, that's why it pops out. And then again, McAllister doing what he should do, pop up in the 6-yard box and puts in the empty net.
90 plus 7 minutes on the clock. Liverpool's second latest winner of the season. That is the directive. However unfair you might feel that is,
however unfair you might feel.
if they decide it's hit his arm, it can't stand. I know that infuriates you, no end, Phil, but that is seemingly what the refs are told.
Can you get somebody else in? Can you get somebody else in? Is anybody walking the streets out there who we can allow in here instead of Mr.
It does seem to be 3.5 to 1 in here, although I'm hearing what you're saying, Gary.
We're all going to do it. I always say Gary tries to be the voice of reason. But this time it's not. Again, what the people saying is his arm's down by its side. Does it hit the joint of the back and the arm?
Yeah.
The arm's down by the side. He's looking completely the other way.
Yep.
And I just feel the look in VAR is more and more trying to look to disallow goals than they do. But VAR give our goal.
Well, that's what we're coming on to. They did get the outcome eventually they wanted, although there was that sinking feeling again, wasn't the same kind of situation. McAllister on the follow-up after Van Dijk's header was saved. He shoots it home, and then the offside debate or measurements began.
It was such a hard one to see, wasn't it? Because there was so many bodies in there, and even when they went to the VAR, you couldn't see Arne, who was right behind Virgil van Dijk. And in fairness to Matt, you said it more or less straight away that you felt that Arne was behind him, and you just thought that there was a trailing leg that was actually playing Virgil van Dijk, which proved very much the case.
We're looking and doing it with Steve. We're looking and we're absolutely dejected because once we've seen it and you see Virgil, you go, wow, he's
miles
half,
offside.
His whole body.
Him and Ekitike looked miles off, didn't they?
Our hearts just sunk. We were like down, we were thinking, oh no, this can't happen again. So we sat back thinking, this is going to be 0-0. Lo and behold, the wonderful people at VAR who drew the lines. They must have got somebody else in, by the way.
Do you think so?
Yeah, because I think apparently Paul Tierney, was it Paul Tierney? He went for a cup of tea.
Went for a cup of tea.
He went for a cup of tea, yeah.
They maybe thought because they made a mistake in the first one.
I think that was a good idea.
I hope they don't think like that.
Hey, what do you mean you don't?
Well, because if they were to apply that on another day, it could cost you.
Some of the decisions they make.
Well, that one, it worked out pretty well for Liverpool. Not sure they deserved it, but as you've both said at the start, maybe that doesn't entirely matter at this point of the season. You've put a little bit of pressure that you can on Chelsea and Manchester United.
It was slightly unjust on Nottingham Forest, who overall you would say they were the better team. They wanted it more, which was disappointing for me. Yeah. They wanted it. They were at it. We were none of those things for too long, too passive in a lot what we did. So you would fit Pereira, as you've seen him on the touchline, he was absolutely sort of devastated, which you would see your team play so well and not get anything. Maybe a better team today would have took advantage of the possession that they had.
Yeah,
is that all right?
I agree with that. Yeah. As much as it pains me to do so. No, I mean, we were fortunate, but sometimes, I mean, we've had plenty of misfortune throughout the course of the season.
Late goals that have cost Liverpool.
So, I mean, the last time we actually won here, I think it was Nunez that we scored.
Yes.
He scored in the 99th minute or something like that. So it's obviously like a ground where we can score late. But as I said in the build-up, I think it's one victory, it's 2 victories now in 16 league appearances down at the City ground. So it's not an easy place for us to go.
You're right.
So to get a result like that should be a big boost for us.
Definitely. Let's get a view from pitch side, shall we? I would imagine Pete McDowell and David Thompson were trying not to smile when eventually a goal stood. Let's get their view.
Yeah, welcome into the inner sanctum, as you can imagine. We are stood just a few yards away from Liverpool's dressing room, which maybe is not as loud as you would expect, but it's absolute silence at just the other end of the tunnel where Nottingham Forest players are concerned. Your overwhelming emotion at the end of that, bearing in mind, Tomo, that you've been a player as well, how will it feel in there, despite the lack of noise?
Oh, I think they'll be absolutely delighted. They know the performance wasn't great today. They'll probably feel like they've got out of jail and got away with it a little bit. I feel like we didn't deserve it. The performance didn't warrant it. We looked a little bit flat today, but absolutely we'll take it. And like we was talking about before, it's up to the lads now to take this momentum. I mean, that was a gift there today. Take that 3 points and try and kick on now. That's a sign that they deserve to be in the top 5 and get this Champions League. So go and grasp it and take this momentum and move forward.
We spoke about that momentum before the game, didn't we? It's almost football's secret potion. You don't know how to get there, but when you do it, it feels probably like a completely different dressing room than it did at half-time.
Absolutely, yeah. They were up against it, you know. We were a little bit flat. You know, the formation was against us. Their formation. They went with a 4-2-3-1. We thought they were going to go with a back five or a back three. They didn't. They surprised us a little bit. They went with a full press and man-for-man press at times, which was really difficult, especially in these windy conditions. It's difficult to get hold of the ball. And I thought it was difficult conditions. We never really had the answers today, but I thought the substitutions made a hell of a difference. The gaffer, you know, changed it. He brought Rio on there. He was getting into in them wide areas and taking people on with a little bit of confidence, putting crosses into the box, and that McAllister disallowed goal came from that chance. So I thought it was Robbo made a difference when he come on. Joe Gomez made a difference with the long throws. You know, it's about sometimes, you know, they went to a low block in the second half. They had to because we were so dominant with possession, and sometimes the answers to break down a low block are your long throws, your crosses into the box, picking up your second balls and getting them secondary chances. What we did. And we took advantage of it, so we'll take them 3 points and move forward. I'm absolutely delighted.
The grit and determination it takes with the disappointment of the first goal being ruled out to go again, you know, particularly Alexis McAllister doesn't get many, and probably an element of the game struggled today, in fairness.
Yeah, he did. It was probably one of his poorest games, but I think, you know, bringing Rio on, bringing Robbo on, Chiesa on, you know, it freed him up a little bit to make them runs into the box, and sometimes, you know, you might not be having your best game, but you can still make the difference, and he was the difference today. And you know, we stayed in the game for long periods of time, and that was thanks to Virgil and Canate. At times they were solid, heading all the balls clear and making tackles, you know, doing the right things. Thought Canate was brilliant second half. So it's these sorts of things, you know, these are the positives now. We didn't deserve the 3 points, but we've got them. Take them, let's move on.
Just finally, this is the business end of the season now. It doesn't matter about performances too much, does it, if you go home with all the points? Of course, the manager's a perfectionist. He will want them to play better, but it's all about results now, the final 11 Premier League games of the season.
Yeah, I was thinking that on the way to from the press box now as I was walking in. It is all about just getting the 3 points. It's not about the performance now. You know, we can take the confidence of the Sunderland game. You know, we've seen large parts of the identity creeping back into the team. Same with Brighton, we scored a few goals. Today's a little bit difficult. This is not an easy place to come. You know, our record shows that. I think we've only won once in 15 games, so twice in 16 now. So we can take that positive. But we take the positive from the performance previously, but we can take the positive for the result now. And you're right, it is about getting the results now and getting the points on the board, and then that'll give you that momentum to keep kicking on and finish the season off strong.
It was an uncomfortable watch at times, but great endings. Like football sometimes gives you those moments. I had to drag him back into his seat, by the way, because we were sat right in the middle of the Nottingham Forest fans.
It wouldn't be the first time I've had a clip round here, you know, for jumping up in the away end.
But listen, great to see you, Tomo, and thanks for being with us. Thanks for your company.
It's a pleasure.
Back to you guys in the studio.